Welcome guys to the Dynamic Podcast with Brendan and Rhiannon.
On this podcast, we're here to talk about self-development, health and fitness, business, and our journey as brand new business owners.
Let's go. Make sure you stick around because I'm telling you right now, this is the best podcast you'll ever see.
Enjoy, guys. Ciao.
All right. It's been a while since we've done a podcast together. Full 360 moment.
Yeah, I know, right? It's pretty cool.
You came on as a guest and now you're our business coach.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed that episode because then after that episode, I called my brother and I said, "We've got to get our podcast back running." Because I really enjoyed that.
So did it give you like that pep in your step?
It definitely did. But then we sat down and we planned it, and I had a spare room that we were kind of just using for storage at the gym, and I thought, let's make our own room because I don't want to sit in the gym and do it, only because the way my gym works, we have an aspect of open gym.
Yeah.
People can come and go, so it's hard to kind of plan for that, and I don't want to be closing the gym from this time to this time and inconveniencing clients if they want to train. So I said, let's make a dedicated room. So we did, and yeah, it's been fun. But actually, I lied. Prior to that, we actually went somewhere. That's right, we went somewhere and hired a room that did the whole podcast recording for us and the editing and all that stuff.
Oh, they did everything for you.
Yeah,
then.
we did we did 4 episodes there. It was cool. I liked it, but then I thought, nah, I'd rather do my own.
Yeah.
Can't be bothered driving.
In a little bit more control of what you edit as well, or someone else still edits?
No, someone else still edits everything for me. I have a team that kind of just looks after that, and then they post everything and do the whole thing for me. But yeah, I definitely enjoy just good old conversation about real stuff, you know. So yeah, so we keep it very niche based. So what we put out there for our content with our content on the podcast, it's not rants about pointless stuff that isn't going to really do anything for anybody. We really want people to learn something from what we're saying. So we're very particular about what we talk about, the topics, and we try to keep it, half an hour at most, so we can try to get a couple of recordings in within the hour block.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's good. I definitely enjoy the entire process of a podcast from start to finish is always been fun.
So we sparked that interest in you again.
You definitely did, which is cool. So thank you.
But now from where we started to where we are now, there's been a lot that's been going on in the background with you being our coach and giving us all these tips and tricks, and now we're in a freaking facility. So it's been a whirlwind, to say the least. When you first started working with us, what did you think of DynamicRecov in the beginning?
Well, it wasn't so much about DynamicRecov because a name for a business is just a name for a business. I was looking at the two of you. I loved your energy. I loved your passion. I loved your enthusiasm. I loved the fact that you guys were constantly seeking to get better, even in the little 1% things.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed by that. Irrespective of the industry, every business owner that I've ever come across has that sense of always wanting to accomplish something. They're driven, they're motivated, they're wanting to just to get that little bit better. And when they're not getting that little bit better, they're getting frustrated. And I can completely understand that. So when I saw the two of you, and we spoke before the podcast and we spoke a bit more after the podcast, and obviously during the podcast, it was my whole story, and especially around business and fitness business. It was, I could sense you guys were definitely keen on wanting to get an idea as to what it felt like to run a facility. Because as we know, that time you didn't have what you have now. It was your mobile PT, your outdoor training, which I still found was awesome because that's never been a thing that I've been good at. So hearing you guys succeed there was great to see, because I did it once or twice and it didn't work for me. So the fact that I met 2 people that did it and were doing it and were doing well with it was good to see. But yeah, so I really loved how you guys are as people, and what you guys had built and the vision you had for your business and the goals you guys had personally and obviously professionally. It was one of those things that I really was, I definitely admired it, to put it simply. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
That's all right.
Never heard you say that. Oh, and then
Well, opening the gym was like a massive milestone for us. Like it was massive, and we honestly didn't think that it would happen that soon. And you actually prevented us from making that move straight away, because this would have happened a few months before it actually did,
A lot sooner.
a lot sooner. But then you halted us and were like, make sure this is the right decision. Make sure you have all the things done right. And we still moved early, but having that at the back of our heads made us like take a few more steps before we made that action.
Yeah.
How can you explain that process that we went through and how you taught us and everything like that?
Yeah, so that process, when somebody says to me, Anthony, I want to have a gym, I don't get excited anymore. And the reason for that is because it's not as fun as people make it out to be, just like any business. But in particular, when you're in a service-based industry, because people make the mistake of thinking that we're in the fitness industry. We're not. We're in a service-based industry. We see people, we help people, we guide people, we serve people. So in particular, when we look at a gym, the mindset that most people have about gyms is it's a luxury, not a necessity. So our job and the mission of, like, say, my brand, for example, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this, is to get people to understand that this looking after their health, using the gym as a vehicle to look after their health, is a necessity. So when you guys said to me, oh, we saw this spot, it looked great, and you guys were really excited, I felt very, very guilty, I guess, or I felt bad because I didn't want to burst your bubble. Sorry. But I knew my job for the both of you was to not get you to make decisions based on emotion, but to make a decision that's based on planning.
Yeah.
And for lack of a better term, logic, right? So when you said to me, we found this place, want to open up this gym, my first question was, why? Remember?
Yeah.
And you said, because I want one. And you said, because he said, look, it's a good idea. And I said, that's not good enough, right? I wanted a gym. And the reason why I started my gym was because I literally had nothing else to do because I got fired at the time, right? So when I started my gym, it wasn't a thing that I was able to plan properly because I literally did it within a 2-week period. Yeah, what you guys did and what we worked on briefly with your outdoor coaching and your mobile was we worked on building a more solid foundation, but we worked on the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Most business owners work on the outside, which is try bring more people in. And that's understandable, it's important. However, when you already have existing clients, there's got to be a moment where you stop and you remind yourself that you need to be able to continue to serve them better while bringing other people in.
Yeah.
That requires what I term as infrastructure. In other words, a team, right? In a fitness business, most of the time, the business owner is the reason, actually every single time, the business owner is the reason why the business isn't growing, right? It's not because they have a lead flow problem. It's not because they have a sign-up problem or because their Facebook ad isn't converting for them or because, I don't know, there's not enough referrals coming through or because people in the area are tight asses here. It's not about that. It's leadership of the business, right? And I said to you guys briefly before we started, as owners of the business, you're not there as the captain of the ship. You're actually charting the course, which is even more important than being the captain of the ship. So the biggest reason why I wanted to put a halt to that idea back then is because there was no charting of the map for either of you at that point in time yet.
There was just the captains.
Yeah, we were still trying to work on the infrastructure, solidify these online businesses that you had with your nutrition and your outdoor stuff and your mobile, make them work for you so you guys can step back and then build the infrastructure. That was the goal. You guys are adults. You guys made your decision. You guys wanted to jump into this, which I was completely supportive of. So when we had that call, that our fortnightly catch up, you both told me that you've decided to sign for the lease, and I said, okay, what I think doesn't matter anymore. My job for the two of you is to support the both of you through this entire process and make the process of turning it from what it was to what it now is the best possible thing for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of the both of you. Yeah, it's a big move. It's a ballsy move. It's not easy, right? The risk is all taken by the two of you, and it's all on your backs. So I guess in my mind, I wanted to be able to make sure, not because I didn't want to see you guys make a mistake or I didn't want to feel like you guys, You know, we're not going to get to where you're going to get to. I know you're going to get to where you want to get to. That's inevitable because you're doing all the right things. But my biggest thing was, as your coach, as somebody who's giving you the guidance that you guys are taking on board, and fairly quickly, by the way, which is great. I want to make sure that what we're doing is the right thing for you. So my conscience was telling me, just be black and white with them. Don't feed the emotion in this. Hit them with the logic. And everyone that knows me knows me. I'm always a buzzkill when it comes to that stuff. So excitement wise, I love it.
Yeah.
When it comes to charting the course, there's no emotion to that. We need to know what the fuck we're doing, how we're going to get there, and what are the contingencies if things don't go to plan.
Yeah.
Right? And what are the costings involved with that? And what's the role of you? What's the role of you? What are the KPIs? What are the metrics? What are we tracking? And how can we make them consistent and hold ourselves accountable? That's all the ingredients to the success of a business. Now think about all that language I just used and all these things that we're tracking now. Were we tracking it 3, 4, 5 months ago?
No way.
Right? Are we doing it now though?
100%.
Yeah?
Big
and
difference.
obviously a huge difference,
And
right?
that's all the infrastructure stuff that you're talking
Exactly right. So most PTs are very reactive and not proactive. Most PTs don't even know how to hire people, because when they hire somebody, they're a shit coach, but they don't know how you like to do stuff, right? And I was guilty of it. I just assumed my coaches would know how to count reps properly or how to look at technique properly, because everyone should know how to do a bench press. No, don't make that assumption. You need to have a system set up where somebody that comes in goes through what we term as an onboarding process or an induction process with you. And you have simple systems set in place and people in charge of those things that would explain to them and teach them and coach them and mentor them, and then you follow up with them. There's a lot that happens. So when somebody says to me, Anthony, I want to open up a gym, they're looking at it from, people are going to exercise, we're going to make it cheap, everyone come in, it'll be hectic. And then reality hits and people don't just necessarily jump to cheap anymore.
No.
All right? People don't just go, a lot of people don't just go for the dollar value. What do they go for? A community. They go for feeling valued as a person, not as looked at as a number.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So these things are a lot of the things that run through my mind whenever I talk about opening up business or starting business or accelerating in somebody's business in our industry.
Yeah. You've made a few good points there. And one thing I want to come back to was at the start, you mentioned that a lot of business owners fail because of the owner. And you were talking about how it's not a lead flow problem, it's not a sales problem, it's nothing like that. It's actually the captain of the ship steering it in the right direction. I feel like a lot of business owners tend to say that it is lead flow. They're not getting enough leads through their system. Their Facebook ads aren't working. The area is not the right area for a gym. So how would you explain to someone that is thinking that it's all leads or it's all Facebook ads or the area that they're living in? How do you tell them that, hey, it's not that, it's actually you?
Okay. I'll give you guys an analogy, right? How do two different people who grow up in the same area end up with two different lives? And one lives in poverty, the other one lives lavishly. What's the difference between the two people?
Mindset.
Yeah. So one blames, other one takes ownership. Yeah, same concept as a business owner. You can blame everybody. You can blame everybody, you can blame everything. What's that going to get you? Nothing. You're just going to keep fumbling.
Yeah.
You can look at what's working, get better at it, push it more. You can look at what's not working, either outsource it to people who know what the fuck they're doing, like Facebook ads, or get better at it. Either way, you're taking ownership. So that's what I'm a firm believer in that. And the reason I'm a firm believer in that is because I am a prime example of that. Put a post up, I think it was yesterday, or maybe the day before, about 3 different photos of me and 3 different versions of me. One that just partied, did drugs, just wanted to escape. Put the external on. Everyone thought I was this health freak and doing all these things that were great. I wanted to be exceptional, but I couldn't let go of this vice that was holding on to me.
Yeah.
I made the decision finally because I was at the point I was going to lose everything. I changed who I was. I built myself back up from the ground, and I became the person and the leader that I need to be to build my business. And I started my business in a very small space. Maybe the size of your upstairs mezzanine was my whole gym, right? And I took it up to 60 clients just in that spot, doing semi-private PT. Then I was there for just under 12 months. Then we moved into my second location. We built that up to 200 clients. Moved into my third location, right? But every single time that's happened, it's because of that person that I was and who I took ownership on becoming. So that's why I'm a really big believer on, if you don't actually look at where you are making mistakes, either within your business or in any other context of your life, how are you going to be able to get better for anything that is relatively important for you?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So that's why I'm a firm believer of that, is because if you have a staffing issue, for example, it's still your issue. You're the problem. Did you hire out of desperation? Or did you hire the right people and went through the right process of interviews? Did you ask the right questions? Are you checking on the right things? Are you setting the standards? Are you setting standards? Are they aware of the values of your business? There's a lot, right? So being a leader for your business is not easy, but it's so important. So that's why I feel like a lot of business owners fail with that, because it's always a staffing issue, or it's always Facebook's changed their algorithm again.
Yeah.
And now I'm screwed. Like, mate, the amount of people that said it to me, I used to comment all the time and try and explain to help them understand. Now I just walk away, because it's like you're still stuck in that 25 years ago mindset of it's everybody else's problem and Facebook's ruining my life. It's like, no, bro, just understand how an algorithm works. You get put in front of things that you like.
Exactly.
And people that you comment on. So if you're going to like Bunnings, nothing fitness related is going to be on your newsfeed. And you're not going to be out there for people that like your stuff, that you want to like your stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to be in front of tradies who couldn't give a fuck about you. Do you get what I mean? You're not the mom who wants to lose the last 10 kilos of weight that lives within a 5K radius of you. Yeah, so understanding something as simple as that comes back to you understanding where you're not good, learning, getting better, accelerating forward with your business, you know? Yeah.
So that's what you believe is like one of the biggest problems that...
The biggest problem.
Yeah.
Businesses will fail because of poor leadership every day of the week.
Yeah.
Every day of the week. In some way. Look, there's obviously other factors that can come into play, but generally speaking, when a business fails, it always comes back to the leadership of that business. Hands down. You know, business goes bust, leadership problem. Staffing issue, leadership problem.
Yeah.
Conversion issue, leadership problem. It always comes back to who's in charge and what they're doing.
Yeah, because it always trickles down.
Exactly.
Never
right.
trickles up. Yeah.
We when we're going through our business coaching have worked on building structure and systems and all that stuff to avoid going down that path. But how do you, like, what's your advice on balancing automation and the human interaction side of things?
Well, I like to have a nice balance of both, right? I'm not really for balance, but in that context, it's all about having the right approach with it all. So, you know, at 2 o'clock in the morning when somebody inquires or leaves their details for us, I'm not going to be on the phone. I'll be asleep. So we do have AI and we do automate. Just a simple, hey, this is an automated message, but I will actually contact you first thing in the morning, just so they know that your details have been received. Thank you. A real human's going to talk to you, right? The other thing that I like to do is when somebody follows our business page, there's an automated message that goes through. Thank you for following our page. Are you here for the content, or are you here for some information about what we do? And then if they ghost us or if they reply back to us, it's from there, it's all human. So if somebody replies back to me, I'll give them a video of me thanking them and just start from there. So it's a fine line that I like to kind of not cross between how much to automate and how much to actually do as a person. It all comes back down to, and again, there's no right or wrong with this. This is my opinion on the matter, and from experience, this is how it's been working for me. It all comes down to what level of time you have.
Yeah, that's
right?
important.
So, and again, as leaders, as the business owners, and you need to look at what are the $5 jobs that you don't need to be doing, and what are the $500 jobs that you must be doing.
Yeah.
Right? An email marketing campaign is not a $500 job. Automate that shit all day. Right? You'll type it, but you set it up to get sent out certain day, certain time. Yeah. Facebook, schedule the posts, for example. Instagram, schedule the posts, right? Or get a VA to do it for you. Give them the content, they'll do it for you. Something is like that you don't need to be doing manually every hour of the day. And I'm guilty of it. I still have control issues, right? But at the same time, I'm doing it. I'm like, fuck, this is such a waste of my time. So I'm sometimes I'm still a culprit of it as well, right? So I schedule everything. So I dedicate an hour on Saturday morning, and I do all my posts for the coming week, and I schedule every single one of them, right? From there, any random post that I do that I feel like doing that I come from like an idea or a conversation I've had, I'll do them manually. So there's a combination of both, right? The professional stuff that you want your people to see and to listen to and to hear and to learn from.
And it's consistent.
Yeah, and that's consistently done. And then you want to have that kind of authentic side of you that's talking about a personal change you've been through or an experience or something that they can relate to from a human perspective. Yeah, because humans connect with other humans, right?
Yeah.
The goal with social media or any kind of advertisement is to get them to know, like, and trust you. Yeah, so there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, but in terms of that balance between like automation and the actual manual human side of things, you got to have both. You must, because AI came out like quick. Everyone jumped on a bandwagon. Like everyone uses ChatGPT for everything now.
Yeah.
But you get found out very quickly with ChatGPT. You know.
Yeah, the little hyphens.
The hyphens, but like even in Australia, some people are that dumb they'll copy paste and not realize that the word realize Americans spell it with a Z, not with an S. So you just know, like you haven't even made it try and even make it sound like you. You know, you've just copy pasted it because you think it's just good to get it out there. But people only read what they can connect with. Really, people only react or engage with what they can
Something that's actually real.
Connect with. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it does. Because I've never really plucked it apart like that. Thought of the automation side of it and balancing the human interaction throughout the week. I think it's always just been because we've been so autonomous.
Yeah.
Because we've always been so autonomous, and it's just been let's schedule for the week, record, schedule for the week, record. It's never really been a habit of ours to be that human interaction side of it.
Yeah, well, the human interaction side for me is always on my stories. Like, I'm sure if you guys see my stories, I'll go off on something. That's from a conversation I've had with somebody.
Yeah,
and I feel like my niche would benefit from this.
Okay.
Whether it's a personal thing I'm talking about, whether it's a rant about something stupid a GP said, whatever it might be, right? And that's where, for all the listeners, when it comes to nurturing, everyone wants to use that word, your audience gets nurtured on social media through your stories.
Yes.
Right? Nurture them through the DMs and through the stories, not so much through your day-to-day
Actual
content.
posts.
Yeah. Because it just doesn't work. What are you going to nurture in 30 seconds, You nurture them more when you DM them, when they react to a story of yours and you start chatting that way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we like to do it, and that's the human side of me. I'll nurture that all day. And I'll spend all day on it. My phone sits on a holder there in front of me. I'm doing my work. If it goes off, I'll literally bang whatever. I might just do a quick video to them. I keep going. This thing doesn't stop, right? But I do it on purpose because I want to talk to people.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if there's a really cool thing that's come across with a conversation, I'll screenshot it. And what do? I reshare that onto my story. And I make more people react to it or comment on it. And then I screenshot, I reshare that again. Because you need to showcase that people are actually responding to what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's humans talking to humans. And people get encouraged to comment what they think about it when they see other people thinking about it.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
It does, yeah. And the thing about basic human psychology will tell
Everyone wants to be involved with FOMO. Everyone wants to be involved with something that's big.
Exactly. But say in a room, say there's 20 people, and the person presenting says, who here wants to go first? Everyone looks around like, oh, I don't want to go first. Now one person has the balls, go, yeah, I'll go. What happens to the second? How easy is it for the second person?
A lot easier. Yeah.
Why? Because it's that momentum started. Yeah, exactly right. So people see that there's nothing to fear. You can leave your opinion, and you're not going to get your head ripped off for it, for example. Or you can get up in front of people, and it's not going to be the most daunting thing in the world. And then everyone else wants a piece of the pie as well. Same kind of concept, Yeah.
Why do you think most businesses fail? I feel like I've asked you that before,
Leadership.
but yeah. So you
nutshell,
mentioned at the start, like the leadership problem.
It's all leadership. Because a good leader will be very well versed in knowing what he or she is good in and knowing what he or she is not good in. Right?
Yeah.
So a good example, most businesses fail because of a lack of money control, or there's always some kind of financial problem.
Yeah.
And I mentioned in my first ever podcast to you guys that I went through, almost had to claim bankruptcy. I wasn't a good leader. I've made a lot of money and I threw a lot of money on things I didn't need.
Yeah.
Right? There's a saying, a lot of people, and especially business owners, you start to make money, all of a sudden your expenses go up more. Right? It's like, why? It's because you just have no control. There's no leadership there. So what I've done is I've put together a financial audit for myself that I do every quarter. And I have a bookkeeper who gives me a monthly P&L. And I've mentioned this to you guys before, do this every month, because it'll tell you whether you're making or whether you're not.
Yeah.
All right. And then there's a process that we go through and rules that I've put in place for myself to follow with the business to ensure that whatever, there's certain things that happen with the profit at the end of every month, right? But there's also certain things that we do on a weekly basis to ensure we make profit.
Yeah.
Now, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. And for the audience, if you don't know what I'm talking about, read the book Profit First. Read the book, listen to the audio version. If you don't like to sit and read, it is the best thing you could ever do for yourself. But that's what we do to ensure that there is profit at the end of every week, as opposed to going, I hope the expenses were more than the revenue this week, right?
It's like a hope and pray moment. Yeah.
Best way to run business. But yeah, every single problem in a business is all directly related back to leadership.
Yeah.
Every single problem in this world really is all directly related back to leadership.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Yeah, at the moment, it's just been talking to me a lot. Leadership. I had my business coach ran a big day last Friday with all of the Sydney coaches that he looks after, and the whole day's topic was leadership. So, yeah, it's definitely added a lot to what I do and how I'm thinking about certain things moving forward, yeah.
Do you think it's one of the leading growing topics at the moment?
I wouldn't say it's a leading growing topic, but what I would say is it's a topic that gets neglected often. Because leadership is always about
Self-reflection.
Self-reflection, exactly right, yeah. So that stuff people don't have time to do or don't want to put time towards doing it because they don't think it's important. I truly believe that reflection needs to be done on a weekly basis, if not a daily basis, if you can. But at the minimum, a weekly basis in different aspects of your business and in different aspects of your life. Because how else are you going to get better if you don't honestly reflect on what's been happening?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was just about to ask, like, what are some of the mindset shifts or habits that you would do on a daily or weekly basis that would determine someone that would get stuck or someone that would succeed?
Well, what we do now is we do morning huddles, 5 minutes. I either pull everybody together if they're around the desk or if they're in on the day, or I'll just have a group chat and I just put an audio message in there and we set the tone for the day. Then we have an afternoon recap. So at 5 o'clock every afternoon, I do a recap with the team about what we set to do today, how well we did, and we move on to tomorrow. That's what I do daily for the team. Keeps the team in check, keeps me in check with how they're all going as well. Lets them know that I'm up to date with everything too, so it keeps them accountable, which is great. But then for me, Sunday morning is my reflection for the whole week. And I have certain things that I reflect on. I don't necessarily reflect on the money. I reflect on cancellations. I reflect on suspensions. I reflect on, obviously, new sign-ups. I reflect on revenue. I look at where we're headed next week or the following week. So what the consults have been booked in. I look at any follow-ups that need to be done and what needs to happen then. Then I look at my own personal KPIs that I set for myself to do every day and every week. Have I hit them? Have I not? Why? I do an audit of my calendar. So this is like a whole hour and a half, sometimes 2 hour process that I go through. I look at my calendar on my phone and I just do it like a bit of an audit and I just shift things around if I need to or get rid of things that don't need to be there. Yeah. And then I just do my absolute best to prep myself to have the most effective week possible starting from that following day, Monday.
Yeah.
And that just gives me a clearer head for Sunday so I can just be really present with my family. That's why I love doing it on Sundays. Yeah.
It's that good reflection time to yourself.
You have to. Because you can definitely get caught up in the hustle and bustle and the constant, grind.
Like that rat race sort of thing.
Literally almost like that. And one of those things that I find that's really important to do is to slow down. Because there's actually a lot of good that you guys are doing. Because you're caught in a hustle and bustle, you haven't got time to reflect on that. And you need to see or show yourself or at the very minimum sometimes just pat yourself on the back because it does give you a bit of motivation to keep going. It does. I truly believe that if you just focus on all the shit stuff that is happening, Where's your zest? Where's your motivation? Where's your fire? There is none. Right? Why do clients come and train with you?
Because of that fire.
Yeah,
and you need
bring
to reignite
motivation
it.
to them.
Yep.
I said to somebody years ago, I said, it's going to be the hardest thing that I'm ever going to have to do with my life when it comes to starting my business. But try stop me. And they were like, I love it. They said to me, I love it. And they still train with me. Right? And when I moved to my bigger place, they looked at me, he's like, bro, there's no stopping you. And in my head, I'm like, it's not about stopping me. It's about what I want to. There's the reasons behind why I built that, where I went to that bigger facility. There was reasons for that. And when he said that to me, it was a nice feeling to hear that, because in that moment, I'm looking at all the things I still have to do, and now all the money that I've got to try and make sure that I make to cover everything, and to be as profitable as I want to be. And so you start to doubt a little bit. As humans, we do. And when he came in, it was like it was a godsend. He just said, bro, there's no stopping you. He goes, I can just see it. And I was like, someone believes in me. This is great. And then it just gave me that boost, and then, I haven't looked back since. So every now and then it's good to just remind yourself that although you feel like you're in the trenches, which we are, you're getting through. You're doing better than you think,
Yeah. How do you feel like your identity has shifted over the years?
Yeah. Well, my father always used to tell me that I was a natural born leader. And a lot of the times he'd tell me that when he was telling me off about not being the leader that he knew I could be, because I was doing something stupid that was just not aligning with who he knew I was and who I wanted to be. I love you, Dad, if you're watching. My identity shifted significantly from, I'll keep it from a professional basis, being a PT, to then having a team and being a leader. And then from there, just being a leader for multiple divisions within my team, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I have a client care team, I have my coaching team, I have my kitchen team, I have my marketing team, right? I have my leadership team. So there's different hats I need to wear based on who I'm talking to. And I still do some PT because I love it. So I'm a different kind of leader than I was last year, right? And the year before that, and 10 years before that.
Yeah.
For me, it's definitely been impacted heavily by the birth of my son. So that's really impacted the way in which I see the world that I want to show my son, but also what I want to be able to be as an example for him too,
Yeah.
So I guess the leadership itself has always been there. The context is always a little bit different based on
Where you are at
I'm
that time.
Exactly right, yeah. But essentially, I want to be the best leader possible. And I guess every good leader that I know has the same qualities, right? They have integrity. They do what they're going to say they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're honest. And they don't like to, I guess, be dishonest and lie. But they're also very, very, very hardworking,
Yeah.
right? And, they're not scared to put the time in because they know it's part of the vision. And for me, that's so inspiring,
Have you seen an identity change in us at all throughout this whole journey?
Definitely have. I definitely have. I feel like sometimes you guys probably may not see it because you still feel like you're Rhiannon and you're Brendan, you're the same guys. There's definitely an identity shift, and the reason for that is because although you were business owners with your mobile PT and with your outdoor stuff, because you have a facility that has a lot more overheads and you have more staff now that you're face-to-face with and you have more people that you're interacting with on a daily basis, the shift has gone from training them going home, right? Training them, see next session, or good, I'll get the nutritionist to send you a plan, to taking on feedback, managing a team, managing each other, looking at P&L statements more often than you were before. There's planning ahead for what's to come for the facility to keep the community engaged. So there's definitely been an identity shift, and I'm really proud of what I'm seeing from the both of you, because we've had some hard conversations, the three of us.
Yeah, we have.
And it's all from love, I promise you. But the way you guys have taken on the feedback has really, really impressed me. So I know you guys are born to be leaders because of the way you're taking the feedback on.
How important is taking feedback the right way?
It's crucial because, especially around business, it's very easy to get emotional with it because you're invested emotionally, not just financially. It's your baby, right? This is your baby. You want to see it flourish, right? And you want want to have the life that you want to have while having a business that you absolutely love and you're passionate about. And when it doesn't work out like that, or when it's, there's hurdles along the way, which there always are going to be, you just tend to go, again, fuck, 3 steps forward, 5 steps back kind of thing. But my purpose for the two of you is to cut all that emotion out, right? And I'm very direct with what I say. Sometimes I'm a little bit too direct, I'll admit. But I do it because I want to make sure you guys understand that this is the level of thinking you need to have if you want to have a business to the level that you want to have it in. Yeah, a lot of the problems in our industry are very, very much about, like I said before, leadership, but also PTs are just trying to jump on a bandwagon of some sort all the time.
Yeah.
And that to me is the biggest mistake you can make. That tells me how insecure they are. So, and then when they don't want to take on the feedback, or if they're assuming that the problem isn't them, the problem is the trend that they're pushing at the moment, or whatever it might be, that tells me that there's a lot of internal work that needs to be done. So for the two of you, the way you take on feedback, it just speaks of the maturity that you guys have, and how serious you take wanting to be successful in business. But also, and this is what I'm truly thankful to the both of you for, the trust that you have in me as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not coming from a bad place. It's coming from a place of care, and from a place where I want to see you both succeed.
I guess a big question I had for you was, you, especially to me all the time, you always told me, take the emotion out, because I guess I have a massive passion for everything that I do, what I'm trying to create. I have a massive purpose and drive for what I want to do. And one of the biggest things that you told me all the time is remove the emotion out of this. If you remove the emotion, that's how you're going to get to where you want to be. I don't know how to, I guess, cut that off. And I feel like a lot of people that might be running a business might have this massive passion for what they do, but to get to that next stage, I have to remove that emotion. How would you teach that?
One of the easiest ways to answer that question for you, Brendan, that even you guys can take on board if you're not doing it already, anybody listening can take it on board too. My grandmother told me this, and I swear to you it works. Count to 10. I'm not joking. Count to 10, then think about what you want to say. Or then think about what you want to do. So I'll give you an example. When a client wants to send you a stupid message that they want to cancel, what's your instant response? You want to fucking, I used to be like that. And then I used to backspace the whole thing and then put it down and I'd walk away and come back and I'd deal with it better, right? Yeah. And that, taking the emotion out of that has saved me countless times with losing clients. Countless. And they're still with me today. I'm running through every single one of them I've had those conversations with. Because I went from, why the fuck do you want to cancel? You're doing so good. To, hey, is everything okay? Let's have a conversation over the phone. I just want to have a chat with you. I want to make sure everything's okay. So the conversation is, Anthony, I'm really busy. I'm stressed out. I can't do it. And then we break that down for them. And then next minute, they're still here. Right? And then from there, the reason why I say it to you, Brendan, and I've even said it to you a couple of times as well, Rhiannon, is because I'm talking from experience. You absolutely must take the emotion out of what you're doing when it comes to your business, because none of this is personal. A client leaves you, man, it's not personal. We don't know what's going on in their lives, right? It's a time to reflect on what we could have done to keep them. It's a time to reflect and think about taking on their feedback and actioning what is actionable out of what they're saying.
Yeah.
You're going to lose some people. Every single client's got an expiry date. Yeah, I've had clients with me for over 10 years, and all of a sudden, it's time to call it, man. Thank you so much, but I'm just going to move on. And they go and train up the road at the yard, which is like 4 doors up from me. It's like, if you want to jump around like a monkey, we have a different program that can make you do that, So, but at the end of the day, man, it's good. I look at it as, where did we fail that client? You have to, because that's the only way to get better. Do you know what I mean? And we're very big on like a feedback form.
Yeah.
So
looking at where you can improve.
We're asking them for the honest feedback, and we really, really push them to kind of give us honest feedback. Like, please, we're not going to get offended. We need to know where we can get better, and we would really appreciate it if you could help us. So if they say, look, I just didn't like some of the times where the coaches weren't attentive. Okay, I'll pull the team up. This is what I've noticed. Performance review time comes around. This is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
This is how we nip it in the butt. So again, I've taken the emotion out. It's not about telling them off. It's about showcasing them the worst case scenario that can happen if they're not on their game, and highlighting to them what they're doing well, but then meeting them in the middle and getting them to understand the areas they need to improve in. And then it's on me to keep them accountable. So that's an example I'm using to kind of take the emotion out.
Yeah.
Because I had bosses that were just stupid and emotional about everything. You don't want to work for them. And I always tell people this. The 2 bosses I had when I first started in this industry told me what not to do. Three bosses I had when I started in the industry, they taught me what not to do when running a gym.
Yeah.
You know? And so that was a lot of that basis of how I ran my business and the way I treated my clients and the way I treated my staff was based off that. And then as time's gone on, we've gotten a little bit better. And I still have moments where I need to count to 10, right? The other thing I'll say as well to help kind of answer that with a bit more of a logical, actionable thing as well is always make sure that you attack an emotional situation with logic.
Yes, I like
Always.
that. Yeah.
You must. Because, like I said before, an individual will leave you or you might have a run-in with a prospect that is just rude to you, right? The emotional thing is to tell them to go get fucked, right? Because I would. If somebody was rude to me, I'd be like, man, I called you because you left your number, right? That's the emotional response. Where does that get you? Nowhere. What does that leave in them? A bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
Right? The logical way to go about it is trying to get them to understand that you contacted them based off their inquiry.
Yeah.
And if now's not a good time, I'm happy to call you back whenever you're available. Right? So it's kind of, not taking it personal, like I said before, and just attacking the emotion with logic. And I'll give you guys a really good example. We had a lady that was booked in on Tuesday. We confirmed her. She said, no, I wasn't booked in for Tuesday. I don't have anything on my calendar. Tuesdays I work. And then one of my staff members was like, what the, I told her, I booked it. She was all good. She's an idiot. Don't worry about it. I said, relax. I got my other staff member to call her. And they had a good chat. And the lady just had a really bad day that day. And she was really rude and stroppy. And my staff member was saying to her, look, I hope everything's okay. It doesn't sound like you're in a good mood. Do you want me to call you back? She's like, no, I just had a really bad day. And then she goes, well, I hope you get better. I hope your day gets better. Are you still wanting to have a conversation with us around how we can help you? And then she had a brief conversation with her about what she was looking at wanting to achieve. And she ended our phone call with, thank you so much for listening. I finally felt like I've been listened to and heard. We could have gone the emotional route and created an enemy for life.
Yeah.
Or we went down the logical route and created somebody that actually appreciated that 10 minutes that we spent with them on the phone is guaranteed to turn up, or was more likely to turn up now because of that nice conversation that she had with one of my staff members. Yeah, so I drill my team all the time. No emotion. You can have the emotional outburst. Do not say it to the person though.
Yes.
Go to the bathroom and scream if you want.
Yeah.
Go for a walk outside and just swear the house down, whatever. I do it all the time. I go for a walk around the block. I come back with a clear head.
Yeah.
We're humans. We're going to get annoyed sometimes.
Of course.
Just don't let it dictate your actions. That's all.
It sounds to me, during this podcast, you mentioned a few times that whenever a problem goes wrong, whenever something goes wrong in your business, in your life as a leader, you put that accountability on yourself. I feel like that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself constantly, every single day. How do you manage all that stress, all that, I guess, stress that you're putting on to yourself?
I like that question. I'm going to disagree with you though. I don't put pressure on myself because I take accountability. If one of my staff members have made a mistake, they're owning that. That's not my mistake. That's their mistake that they made. My accountability and my leadership tells me that how can I make sure that mistake never happens again? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That's how I take ownership of that. Because the situation occurred because that individual was, for example, emotional or didn't follow procedure. How can I make sure that doesn't happen again? So I look at the accountability systems in place and I adjust it, I fix it, I pull up that team member and I have a chat with them. I get them to understand how their decision to be selfish, for example, and not follow procedure impacts the entire business and the entire team, right? And I really kind of encourage them to not do it again. But I asked them, what was going through your mind? Are you finding it difficult to do it this way? Is there a way that you would prefer to do it, right? Yep. That's where my accountability and my leadership comes into play, not going, it's my fault. they made the mistakes, that's my fault. That's not about that. It's more about the fact that they
okay.
made the mistake. They need to learn from that because they got to take ownership. And my team knows you take ownership. You're not going to get, a whirlwind coming at you, but take ownership. A whirlwind will come at them if they lie. But take ownership, learn from that, move forward, right? And understand that I'm in your corner and we can talk about it and I can help you understand whatever you're struggling with.
Yeah.
That's how you keep them on board, number one. But number two, that's how as a leader you fix problems in your business.
Problems, yeah.
So again,
So you never say it's your fault. It's more, I need to fix this and I'll just figure out a way to do it.
well, it's the question is, why did it happen?
Yeah.
When an issue, when something bad happens at the gym, why did it happen? When somebody says to me, "Oh, so and so's left," I say, "Why?" I don't go, "Fuck." I go, okay, why?
They just signed up last week.
What was their feedback?
Yeah.
Oh, they weren't happy with a couple of things. Okay, get them on the phone with me. I want to have a chat with them.
Yeah.
No emotion. I want to know if I fucked up. I want to know why. I want to know how we can get better.
Have
I want to
feedback.
know. Yeah, I want to know if a team member did something that wasn't up to standard. Maybe I need to hold them more accountable to certain things.
Yeah.
Maybe my leadership team needs to improve in certain areas of being accountable for themselves and for the rest of the team as well. Do you get what I mean? So there's always an opportunity to learn, to grow, to prosper, to succeed. Accountability, though, is not taking the blame of somebody else and putting it on yourself. As the leader of my business, I need to understand that making them better leaders within my teams is important. So them taking accountability and they're learning from that is really a part of their growth. Yeah, but the overarching, I guess, principle for me is how can I support them? Did I let them down by not giving them enough coaching or enough of the guidance, the support, or even keeping them accountable the way that I was supposed to? Yeah, it's a constant look and reflection, inward look, and reflection. But I've done that for the last 18 months because the last 2 years have been very difficult. And it wasn't until the last 18 months that I actually got myself out of the hole that I was in through leadership and literally reflection. And where can we get better and how are we going to get better, So yeah, a lot of it comes back to me, but it's not my fault per se. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So you don't put it upon yourself in a way.
Well, not if it's my fault, it's my fault. Whatever, I'll cop
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and my ego goes out the door, and I'll just fix it. But if it's not my fault, we need to figure out why it happened, and I got to have a conversation with the staff member to make sure that they're still understanding of the vision of the team and the vision of the business, and how their role and their actions directly impact that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because any good leader will want to make sure their team's on board with the vision and that course that I'm charting.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Because you can't have 10 people steering in the wrong directions.
You can't have 10 people on one side of the ship and the other ship is left with no one to man it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you can't have 10 people sitting around doing nothing and the captain yelling out orders and the ship's just sitting there. And it's just wherever the tide goes is where the ship goes. There's no way to get anywhere. Do you get what I mean?
100%.
So, yeah. I hope that answers like that kind of
It
gave
does.
a bit of clarity. Yeah, cool.
I've been looking at the way that you said that in a different light in terms of the ownership side of things. When it comes to the emotions, I'm all emotion. And when it comes to just do the thing, old mate over here is just do the thing.
Yeah.
But we both have periods where it's a little bit of a roller coaster. He'll be in a slump, I'll be up. I'll be in a slump, he'll be up, and vice versa. How, and I ask you this off the podcast and on the podcast, how do you navigate those emotions? Because it's something that I've struggled with throwing myself into the deep end with this business. And I don't believe that I'm a leader in that retrospect. Like I don't believe, it's a bit of imposter syndrome. Like I don't believe I'm in the driver's seat at the moment. I feel like I'm still scrubbing the deck. How do you navigate through those emotions for someone that may possibly be going through that at the beginning of their business?
I think imposter syndrome attacks all of us at some point in our life, firstly. So it's not a matter of I think it is, it definitely is that. And that's something you're going to have to work through, to be honest with you. But to answer your question with a bit more of a really good actionable way, it's all in the planning and the preparation.
Yeah.
Right? If you're sitting there going, I don't know why this isn't working, what do you have to reflect on to tell you that it's not working? Right? If you haven't got a plan, where's your map?
Yeah.
Where are you working towards? Where's your North Star? Right? So if you don't know what the fuck is going on in your business, of course you're going to get stressed out. But if you know that there's a goal and there's a direction and there's a plan and you've got your KPIs and you've got your metrics and you're tracking it all and you've got an 80% conversion rate as a minimum, for example, everything's okay. Just keep chipping away. You need to just keep chipping away. And to one of the things that I do every morning is I do a mindset drill every morning.
Yep.
I don't touch my phone till 8 a.m. Number one. Number two, and my wife will laugh at this, but it's true. I don't touch it till 8 a.m. Right? While I'm driving, I listen to a certain kind of music to kind of calm my brain and not fire my brain because I'm driving at 10 past 4, quarter past 4. And so it's all about starting my day in as much of a calm manner as possible, right? I hold off caffeine until I have something to eat, whereas I used to just do caffeine first thing in the morning. And as we know, caffeine on an empty stomach, all it does is just destroy your cortisol levels. It just spikes them like no tomorrow. Where's your focus then if you're running on adrenaline?
Yeah.
Right? So for me, the mindset shift through actionable things is what's definitely helped me. So I come into work calmer. I have the plan on my whiteboard. I'm a very visual guy. I think you guys have seen my office. There's fucking whiteboards everywhere.
Yeah.
So I brain fart every day, right? And then I just make it make sense. And I put a plan together and then I have the direction I have to go in, right? So there's a lot that I do off camera or away from the gym floor that allows me to understand what I'm working on and why I'm working on it and the steps that need to be taken and things that need to be achieved and accomplished to get to that point. So I don't focus on the end goal like I've shown you guys. I focus on the daily tasks. So my focus is always on the simple, actionable things that are going to get me to the next step.
Yeah.
Simple, actionable things that are going to get me to the next step. Right? And that's how I destroy the emotion about everything and the stress about everything. And something as simple as getting good sleep will just do your wonders too. You get good sleep, you're in a better headspace. Simple as that. And a lot of that stuff gets neglected because it's not this crazy, amazing skill that I'm trying to teach you.
Yeah.
People go, oh yeah, sleep, yeah, I'll do it. Fucking do it, man. It's the answer to half your problems.
Yeah.
You haven't got energy to focus because you haven't got energy at all. Do you get what I mean? So even
it's so true.
that's just, I'm in bed at 8:30, right? And I'm watching, like my wife and I watch a show before we go to bed. We have a nighttime routine, eat dinner, my son goes to bed, 8 o'clock, we're laying in bed at just after, 8:30, 8:45.
Lights out.
Good night, mate. And I'm falling asleep without even trying to fall asleep because I'm just exhausted, right?
Yeah.
But I get up and I'm like, okay, time to go again. I do my mindset stuff, I do my breath work, and boom, we're off. Right? And I'm excited to work.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a big thing too. You got to actually be excited for what the fuck you're doing. Always be excited, always be grateful for what you're doing because you guys could have a shit life.
Amen.
So you guys have a great one.
Yeah.
Amen.
Right, you walk into your place and this is your baby. Could be anybody else's. Could have been that shit gym before it was yours, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. It's your gym. It's your baby, and you're making it better than what it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And people would die to be in that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a great response. I was leewaying you to answer something like that because that's one of the biggest things that you've taught us since being since coaching
that.
us. So like the routine, the structure, the calendar, the being anal about every little thing in that calendar has just been a very detrimental part of the growth of this business and obviously of our own personalities as well. Because now we come into work and we're like, have you done everything that's on the calendar, mate? Brendan's always like, have you done it? Have you done it? If you're not, well, you got to go back and do it. And you segregate the time.
Watch when the growth gets more and more than what it is already. What do you have to reflect on?
The habits.
The habits that you've implemented.
Yeah.
And that's what
It's
we
not
teach
hard.
inside the gym as well.
It's
'Cause
literally
Health and fitness comes down to the habits that you live every day.
100%.
The people that have the best bodies, look the best, are in their peak health and fitness state, are the ones that do the 10,000 steps, drink 3 liters of water, sleep 8 hours. And people think that there's this magic pill that you just take and you just get shredded. Unfortunately,
Exactly right.
if you're not sleeping 8 hours, not drinking enough water, not eating well, you're never going to get anywhere.
Literally, like it's one of those things where if you look at the recipes for success, so the ingredients for success, one of them is consistency,
Yeah.
right? And when you talk about success in any context, consistency is always in the mix there,
Yeah.
right? Not intensity, consistency.
Yeah.
So I don't do a lot in my day. I'll be honest with you. I don't do like 20 things in my day like you were made to believe you have to do as business owners.
Yeah.
I do 3 things really well. Really, like I'm talking like you're not going to fucking beat me on it. I'll do it
3
really
daily
well.
tasks.
Really well, right? and then I move to the next day is the next 3 things, right? It's not as hard as people make it out to be. It really isn't. If you're trying to do it by yourself because you're a tight ass, that's when it gets hard, right? Because you're trying to do 5 different things in one day and they're all shit. They're all done really poorly, sorry. Yeah. And then shit hits the fan and you're like, fuck this, I'm done. It's like, well, that was your fault. You tried to do it the wrong way.
Don't be a tight ass.
Of course it's not going to work, right? It's not about being a tight ass. It's about understanding how to manage your money and your cash flow.
It comes down to the management, of course.
It does. It's leadership. It's all leadership. Look, I have a thing about a lot of people that run business that think that being successful is not letting go of money.
Yeah.
Money is just, it's energy. You either make it work for you or it sits there building up, doing fuck all. Literally.
It looks pretty in the account.
It does. But like, if that helps you sleep at night, don't run business. Go work for somebody else.
Revenue feeds the ego, profit puts food on the table.
Exactly. But the thing is as well, if you're holding on to money because it's like, I need to hold on to it. Like for what? I don't know, but I got to hold on to it because you sleep better at night with less anxiety. You're not made to run business. You're not. If I tell you that not more goes out, but a lot of what we earn goes out, especially to reinvest, but also to pay for resources and all the outsourcing that I do, mate, most people go, how the fuck are you surviving? Well, we survive because there's a plan. There's a method to the madness, right? Again, profit first. Best book you ever read.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you action what that book tells you to action and you understand the real lessons that it's trying to teach you to get you out of debt, to get you thriving, not just surviving when it comes to cash flow and money management not just in your business, in your life.
Yeah.
It's the best book you could ever read. I've read it 3 times. I reckon I'll read it again before the year's done. Right? Because there's always another golden nugget I learn when I read it again. You know what I mean?
I don't know how many times you've told us to read it, and we've just we've not. I think it's making me want to read it a little bit more now.
One of my business coaches recommended it to me, and I can't thank him enough for. He's an old business coach of mine, but he's such a smart guy. When it comes to understanding a lot of things about business from a money management point of view, fuck me, he was just so creative, and a lot of it came from that book. He took that book and he built on top of it with what he was doing. It's amazing to watch. This guy runs podcast studios. Like that doesn't seem like it's a crazy money maker. But go ask him how much he earns. And
He just runs podcast studios.
He's got a couple in Melbourne. I think he's got 1 in Sydney or 2 in Sydney.
Wow.
Amazing. The brand on this guy is next level.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
What do you think separates a good business from one that leaves a legacy?
Far out. You got another hour?
Do you?
I got nothing but time for you boys. Don't worry. When it comes to a business that leaves a legacy, let me ask you a question off the back of that. A legacy for who?
For your offspring.
Okay. So a business that leaves a legacy, any kind of legacy that a business leaves is understanding that what they're doing is so much bigger than them.
Yeah.
Firstly. Secondly, it's understanding that nothing needs to be reliant on them. Yeah? So if everything in your business completely relies on you to operate from open to close, from start to finish, 365, you haven't got a business. You're working.
No, you have a very low paying job.
All that, right? With a whole bunch of stress, yeah?
Yeah.
But if you have a business, you have infrastructure, you have team, you have all these little small things that you do on a daily and weekly and monthly basis that build your team, that have culture. You have a beautiful culture, You have great community. You have something that you can step away from that doesn't even notice that you're not there, but you're charting the course for where it goes in the background, yeah? And it just runs, and it's a beautiful thing that you have as your main, I guess, goal in life is to build that to be the best thing possible, but all you're focusing on is supporting your team.
Yeah.
And then your team are the ones that support
Actually
your clients.
run the business. Yeah.
Right? And then you step away from that legacy is still there though, right? And if you want to make it exceptional, you need to be exceptional. Most people want to be the exception because it sounds cool, but they're not willing to change how they are or who they are or how they act, right? And I read that off Alex Hormozy. everybody wants to be exceptional, but nobody is willing to do exceptional things and be the odd one out of the bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lately, I've been the odd one out in my bunch, and people don't like me for it. Right? And the reason why I've been the odd one out is because I now need to change even more than I already have, because now my goals have just like quadrupled.
Yeah.
So I need to be a different person. It makes no sense for me to be the same guy expecting different goals from myself. It makes absolutely no sense. So I want to be exceptional. I actually want to be exceptional.
Be the difference.
I need to be different. I need to be the odd one out. I need to change again, upskill myself again. You know, I need to be that next person, that next level person. Now, for my offspring, for my son in particular, I don't care if he doesn't want to be a PT. I don't care if he doesn't want to have this as my business as his business that he takes over. I really couldn't care. I want him to have a life that he's fulfilled with. That's the legacy I want to leave behind. Is chase what you're passionate about, live to feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously in between all of that, understand that we're put on this earth to help people. My vehicle to helping people is obviously my gym, same as the two of you.
Yeah.
Right? If his vehicle of helping people is going doing charity work, go. Go. I'll pay for the whole thing for you. Go. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like that's, for me, it's like find what you're passionate about and live a life that's worth living.
100%.
Yeah? And I have a life that's worth living. Before him, I loved my life. With him in it, there's nothing else I'd rather do than be a dad now. I'm trying to build, and my clients are going to see this and be annoyed with me, but I'm trying to build a business where I don't have to be there anymore because I just want to spend time with my son. All I want to do is see him and hang out with him, right? If I have to FaceTime my wife to see my son, it's not a good day for me because I haven't had time with him, which I'm never going to get back. Do you get what I mean? So for me, I want to be that. I want to build that legacy. It's not about me anymore. It's the place can run without me now.
Yeah.
Right? Ego out the door. They can do it, as in my team can do it just as good as me.
Yeah.
Right? Get over myself. They can do it just as good as me, and I have to train them up for it though.
Yeah.
I have to build them up.
Comes from
Going back to leadership, yeah. I need to be the right person for them to build them up and their confidence and their ability to understand how PTA does certain things, especially around training people. And then just make sure that they're being mentored by the right leaders. And then another layer from that is, who's my leadership team? What's their responsibility for the other junior coaches?
Yeah.
Yeah? So that for me is legacy, as opposed to just another gym down the road. Do you get what I mean?
What's a lesson you wish every business owner learned sooner?
Have patience, stay consistent. It would all work out.
Patience and consistency.
Have patience. Actually, no, before, have a plan. So I call it PPC just for the podcast. Have a plan, stay patient, stay consistent. And then the rest will just work itself out the way it's supposed to. Because the way I look at it, very similar to fat loss goals, right? You mentioned it before. It's impossible for them to get a result if they're not getting their 10,000 steps, eating well, training well, sleeping well. Yeah. It's impossible to not have a successful business without, it's impossible to have a successful business, if you don't plan, you don't stay patient, you don't stay consistent. It's absolutely impossible. It is very possible for you to have a business that's successful, and with whatever way you want to determine success for yourself. When you have a plan, you stay patient and you stay consistent. Right? So that simple approach is what I wish I learned. What is it? 11 years ago now? Yeah. Because I was very reactive. I wasn't proactive back then.
I like that. I've got one more question for you.
Fire away.
If someone was listening today and they're on the edge of a big leap, ready to buy a gym or start a business or do something like that, what would you tell them?
Call me first.
04.
There's obviously a lot that you can unpack with that, but if everything was right, if they had a good plan, if they understood what they needed to be doing, if they had the finances were all in order, do it. Why not? Like, I don't have anything against somebody going and chasing their dream. I do have something against people chasing a dream that they're not ready for. Because again, take the emotion out, think logically about this.
PPC.
I'm going to trademark that.
I'm going to see you walking in next to this.
Just make sure you know what you're doing. Like, no one's ever really going to know what they're doing. We're all still trying to figure it out, right? Yeah. There's no blueprint. As much as business coaches say that there's a blueprint to every business that's successful, there are things that you need to be doing consistently well, but there's always something new that we're trying to
add in,
get better at.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of business owners are trying to reinvent the wheel. It's like, man, nothing just beats hard work and dedication. Just keep pushing the stuff that actually works, you know?
Consistency.
So if somebody's trying to build a business or start a business or open up a gym, there's a lot that you need to kind of account for. But if you have a vision, if you have support, if you're understanding as to how you're going to be able to build your community and what you're going to be offering your community, and if you have a really, really good level of financial literacy, which is in other words, understanding your numbers really well, go for it. And don't let anybody stop you, right? That's why a lot of people open up online coaches now, because it's not easy having a facility. It is not easy. Online coaching is it's much more simple.
Behind the computer screen.
But it's not even that. What are your overheads? The work is hard. Don't get me wrong. Online coaching to me is fucking harder than face-to-face coaching.
It is. Yeah.
Right? It's a lot more touch points than a face-to-face coach has. Right? But the overheads are so much less. Yeah, and you can have your day set up in a way where you're just the king of your day. You can do whatever the fuck you like to do.
You can do check-ins from the beach.
Yeah, you can. Like that laptop lifestyle, I hate it, by the way. I think it's the most overrated and overused analogy ever. Like you can be on a holiday in Bali. I don't know why. They choose Bali because it's cheap to go there. It's cheap to stay there anyway. Do a holiday in fucking Europe and make money, and then I'll be impressed. But yeah, so I think, I know that, you know, if those kind of things are aligned and you've ticked the boxes, go for it. If not, get them set first before you do it. That's all.
Start from the foundations.
You have to. Like, I didn't have a good foundation. If I didn't have my dad give me 20 grand to start my business, there would be no Platinum Training Academy. I would have been too scared because I had no financial literacy back then.
But you learn off the back of that foundation of how to be a better leader for your own foundations.
Yeah, I've made every mistake you could think of in business. So I'm very big on certain things for a reason, because I've seen the shit end of the stick.
Yeah.
I've seen how bad it can get. So I'm like, if I can help somebody avoid it, with all of me, I'm going to help them avoid it, you know? So yeah, you guys are nowhere near that, so don't worry.
Okay. Whew, you were scaring me there for a minute, bro.
Nowhere near how bad I used to be. Props to that.
Where can people find you on socials?
Socials, my personal one, which is kind of pretty much another replication of my Platinum one, _ Anthony Kassis on Instagram, Platinum Training Academy, on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn.
Yep.
You can email me. Like I'm kind of everywhere. I'm even on TikTok now, believe it or not.
Oh, TikTok as well.
Yeah, they made me open up a TikTok account. So I just whatever I post on my Platinum Training Academy Instagram, it just goes to my TikTok. But I'm always down for a conversation with anybody around anything health and fitness related, business related. I don't dub myself as a business coach per se. It is something that I find I'm definitely passionate about trying to help people create a better life for themselves through their business. That's something that I get a lot of fulfillment from. So I get excited when I catch up with the two of you because of all the stuff we're working on in a fortnight.
Yep.
In that fortnight between chats.
Yep.
So yeah, be ready for what we're going to go through today.
Oh, beautiful. I'm scared shitless. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for your time.
Respect.
Thanks, boys.
And thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Dynamic Podcast.
Thank you so much for sticking around. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And if friends are interested, share it around.
Don't forget to comment your favorite part of this episode and tag us on your social media platforms.
And we'll see you next Friday. Ciao.